Welcome back again to another session of the daily portion of German, and this is our fifth segment on the biographical sketch of Franz Kafka. Here you have a picture, a portrait of him probably in his late teens or early 20s. And and our guest tonight is Jeff. Jeff, you want to say hello?
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so let's see. This is the text we're going to look at today. And let me just scoot this down a little bit here. Okay, there we go. All right, so as we've done before, I'm going to read aloud, and Jeff will repeat after me. Please read with him, and then I'll ask him questions about the sentences, identifying how it's structured, and tips for translating, and then we'll get to a point where we can both, and all of us, translate these together and identify its meaning. Okay, so here we go. Are you all set?
I am.
And I'm going to mark out where we are with this little pen, orange pen. Okay, vor dem Gesetz erschien als Erzählung für sich und auch als Teil des Romans Der Prozess. Everybody?
Vor dem Gesetz erschienen als Erzählung für sich und auch als Teil des Romans Der Prozess.
Good. Okay, where's the main verb there in that first sentence?
Erschien.
Good. It's the past tense from erscheinen, and it means appeared. It appeared, and what's the subject? Is this title of the subject for dem Gesetz, so for the law. It appeared as an Erzählung, as a story by itself, für sich, which means for itself, and it appeared also as a Teil, as a part of the novel Der Prozess. Okay, so this is the genitive here. Remember, with neuter and masculine nouns, you have an S of the definite article, resulting in an S or an ES, depending upon the ending of the noun tacked on at the end to identify it as a genitive. Okay, let's go on. Was hat es zu bedeuten, everybody?
Was hat es zu bedeuten?
So the verb is obviously hat. What has it to mean, literally, or what does it mean going on? Kafkas Freund, Biograf und Herausgeber seiner Werke, everybody?
Kafkas Freund, Biograf und Herausgeber seiner Werke.
Max Brod sprach von den Gesetzen.
Max Brod sprach von den Gegensätzen.
You pronounce that better than I did. I'm sorry, I just mispronounced that. Gegensätzen, exactly, yeah. Okay, so here they have a S tacked onto a proper noun which generates the possessive. So Kafka's friend, biographer, and publisher, one who gives out, publisher, and then here's a genitive plural of his works, and who this person is Max Brod. So where's the main verb there?
Sprach.
Yeah, he wrote, so he spoke about the fun, it means about, then fun takes a dative, so this is about the contradictions, von den Gegensätzen, sentences that are opposed to one another, gegen, contradictions, and then those contradictions are den zwei Tendenzen in Kafka. Okay, so he spoke about the contradictions, the two tendencies in Kafka going on. Der Sehnsucht nach der Einsamkeit, everybody?
Der Sehnsucht nach der Einsamkeit.
Dem Sitzen vor dem Gesetz.
Dem Sitzen vor dem Gesetz.
So he spoke, so Max Brod spoke about the contradictions, two tendencies in Kafka. One is the longing, Sehnsucht, for being alone, Einsamkeit, which he identifies as the sitting before the law, dem Sitzen. And here is a infinitive, sitzen, made into a noun, which we render as a gerund, so ing word. longing for being alone, the sitting before the law, and he also wrote von dem Willen zur Gemeinschaft, dem Streben nach dem Gesetz. Everybody?
Und dem Willen zur Gemeinschaft, dem Streben nach dem Gesetz.
Good. And the desire for community, which is the striving, again, infinitive made into a noun as a gerund, the striving nach for the law, nach dem Gesetz. Okay, going on. Thomas Mann schrieb von der Sehnsucht dieses Träumers Kafka. Everybody?
Thomas Mann schrieb von der Sehnsucht dieses Träumers Kafka.
Good. Where's the verb there?
Schrieb.
Yeah, and that means what? He wrote. This is a strong verb. Infinitive is schreiben. He wrote. Thomas Mann wrote of the longing, and then here you have a genitive, of this dreamer Kafka, the longing for, Sehnsucht nach, and then dative plural, the pleasures or the blisses of normalcy, so that the longing of this dreamer Kafka for the delights of normalcy, and V as heißt, which means as it is called in the short story Tonio Kroger. But also Thomas Mann wrote about also from the elevation von einer Erhörung, and then you have the genitive of. Then this is a very long word here, so it's best to separate. And you have here the S at the end of the first word is actually connecting these two words, pains of loneliness. So Thomas Mann also wrote about of an elevation of the pains of loneliness into, and then this is an adjective made into a noun, which gives it the abstract sense, that which is religious. And what is this a contraction for, Jeff? Ins?
In das.
Good, in das. So this is actually a directional accusative, into. That's why it's translated into instead of in. So directional accusative indicates destination towards something versus the location of the dative, which indicates where something is. Okay, just to put that together, since we've analyzed these various parts, let's see. Why don't you start with Max Brod wrote or spoke of the contradictions. Start right here.
Max Brod
and do it slowly so we can follow you. Go ahead.
Spoke about the contradictions, the two tendencies in Kafka, the longing for being alone, the sitting before the law, and the desire for community, the striving for the law.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Mann wrote about the longing of this dreamer Kafka for the delights of normalcy, which is called in Tonio Kroger
as it is called.
As it is called in Tonio Kroger.
Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm.
So like as it is called in Antonio Kroger, but also he also wrote about
it's like the longing for the pain of loneliness into religion.
Yeah, but also of an elevation of the pains of loneliness into that which is religious. So at the end of that, which is a pretty interesting comment there. So that's our final text that we're looking at in the segment of 5 segments of Franz Kafka, his short biography. So thanks so much for tuning in, and talk to you soon later on. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.